What it do? What it do? Peace to everybody out there, man. It's your boy Sean P in the place to be. Like to thank everybody for tuning into Science with Sean. Please like the show, share the show, tell a friend we in the building. And when I return, we're gonna kick some of this early morning science the real way. Peace to everybody just now joining the show, man. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend we in the building. It's your boy again, as I said earlier, Sean P in the place to be. Rocking out this early morning, just kicking a little bit of science with everybody to let people know where we are. So, my anticipations is to actually do a show, Friday, sometime Friday, morning possibly, or maybe even I don't know. That show's going to detail some information regarding the Moderna vaccine being approved for, its biological license is BLA. So that got approved. Pfizer's up for approval with kids vaccines under 5 years old. They got a two-dose regimen for the babies, and they're seeking to get authorization to push that out there to protect the kids. Um, it's a beautiful day. You got two vaccines that are approved. New technology, high efficacy rates, durability, and sustainability. With great T and B cell memory. So in the future, if we know we're gonna live with coronavirus. Well, we're gonna live with COVID-19 around us. So we will be able to adapt, and those people, well, not those people, but everyone who's been fully vaccinated, and even if you've had a booster shot, you're going to be afforded some protection that will succeed down the line. Now, I'm saying some protection like that because you may succumb to a little mild sickness, something that'll feel similar to like a head cold, or just a common cold, right? That's the goal. That's the goal of fighting infectious diseases for all virologists and things of that nature. So um, the epidemiological studies in regard to that is showing proof that the vaccines are working well. Even though you hear people talk about, well, people still getting infected, that goes to one's understanding of what a vaccine is supposed to do. The infection versus disease, that's what we're looking at. And right now, the disease is not winning against the vaccinated people. Whether you had a booster shot or not, you will succumb to some mild disease, so you'll get a little sickness. But other than that, you're more than likely to clear the virus. Well, you're going to clear the virus within 2 to 3 days, and on top of that, you know what I'm saying, in about a matter of less than 5 days, any symptoms that you've had, you should overcome. Now, I want to kick this real quick. Excuse me. For everybody that might not know this, Moderna's new name is Spikevax. Spikevax is the new name. All right. So when going to get a booster shot, or you're going to get a vaccine, or you're trying to get your kids vaccinated, or your significant other, or whoever the case may be. Man, I washed my car yesterday and it rained today. It's the saddest feeling in the world. But I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you get them vaccinated. What you're looking for is the Spike V, the Spikevax. That's what you want in your life right there. That's that Moderna, right? M1273. And shout out to Dr. Kizzy Corbett, who orchestrated the mRNA technology into existence for Moderna. Tweaked it and upgraded it and did all the things that she needed to do to make sure that we had a viable solution in the middle of a global pandemic. And that was instrumental in getting us to where we are. We're approaching what, about 70% of the population in the United States is fully vaccinated. That still ain't enough. We got to be somewhere around 90. And Omicron subvariant, or the 2A, it's got a couple of more mutations than the original variant. However, it gives it the ability to be a little bit more evasive, especially for reinfection. So all the unvaccinated people, you still stand a chance of succumbing to COVID again. And those of us who receive vaccines, we looking good. We're looking good over here. So it is what it is with that, man. So if you're on your way to work, if you already at work, or if you just now waking up out your bed, I appreciate you tuning in, because lately not too many people have been really getting into this information, because they feel like, we got enough information. Sean, you put the book out, ain't really not much more to talk about, but it's a lot more to talk about, because right now we had over about 64,000 people die last week worldwide from a preventable disease. You know what I'm saying? And that's real harsh. I know you like, well, man, that really ain't a lot of deaths. But guess who leading the world in deaths? You guessed it, the United States. We're leading the global community in COVID-19 deaths. And that in itself, right? That in itself is atrocious. That is atrocious. For us to succumb to leading the world with the technology that we have, with the advanced science that we have, with the knowledge that with all these brilliant minds and hearts and all of those things. Like, we are leading this motherfucking pandemic. Straight up. We don't want to wear masks. Some people ain't washing their hands. You just shook your little ding-a-ling off and you still don't want to wash your hands. Wiped your booty cheeks. You still don't want to wash your hands. You spreading germs. You just nasty. You just nasty. You ain't no different than early Homo sapiens sapien, who didn't know how to wipe their ass. You feel me? Or hadn't succumbed to figuring out how to actually wipe their ass. And here we are with toilet paper, with soap, water, hand sanitizer, all that good stuff. And y'all nasty asses still won't wash your hands before you leave out the bathroom. So if you ain't doing that right, there's a lot of other things that you ain't doing. You ain't trying to protect. You don't care nothing about the rest of the people, man. When it says a global pandemic, When they say global pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to understand that in a global pandemic, that is a public health crisis, and everyone has to do their due diligence to rest assured that we control this dang on pandemic. Everybody got a role to play to keep the schools open, to keep businesses open, to keep things thriving in a manner that we can be all right with it. We got our part to do. But what we want to do, we want to go back in the gym, pack that bitch out, 30,000 deep in the gym, 40,000 deep in the gym. We want to be at a football game, 60, 70, 80,000 deep in the games. And rightfully so, I've been to a couple of football games. You know what I'm saying? One game, it was enough space for you to really, not be close to anyone. And plus, you out in public, you know what I mean? So that's one thing. But think about those indoor facilities and all of that stuff. And you got disrespectful people that don't even want to wear their mask in there, yo. Like they tell you take it off when you eat, but golly, that not to keep it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be respectful to your neighbors. This supposed to be a Christian nation, a religious nation, a love thy neighbor nation. This the shit that y'all founded on WASP, white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant stuff, man. Come on, man. Y'all ain't living by the law of the land. But nah, on some real though, man. It's terrible to still see people succumbing to their deathbeds via an infectious disease that we have a preventable vaccine that protects us from that. I understand that some people don't think that the vaccine works, and that's out of their own ignorance. But I do understand that some people think that herbs work, and that's out of their own ignorance. Your herbs can help strengthen, your immune system. Can help aid in strengthening your immune system, but does not help aid in preventing from being infected with a virus, especially this virus. Them herbs, they might help and aid in symptoms. That's about it. But man, I mean, God dang, how stupid can we continue to be? I just seen a Facebook post this morning talking about, this mug was talking about, what did it say? It said, to detox the vaccine out of your system, these herbs will work, but they never tell you specifically which herbs. Richard, don't ask me about the color of people dying, bro. That has no significance whether they black, white, or indifferent, bro. All due respect. All due respect, bro. Them jokers is 63,700, 63,000 something 77 deaths. And the United States is leading the charge. It don't matter if they black, white, brown, whatever. People losing loved ones, bro. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm gonna have some information coming, and we're gonna get into this actual FDA approval with Moderna. Of course, I already got the sources. I've been having that, sitting on that. I got some other information that we're gonna build on too. We're gonna get into a lecture where a doctor from Washington University, and this research was funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. For those of you who are always talking shit about Bill and Melinda Gates, excuse me for cussing, but I'm just cussing. But everyone that's talking crazy about Bill and Melinda Gates, well, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funded research for a resolution for treatment against this novel virus. And now this funding doesn't have anything to do with vaccines. This funding has to do with monoclonal antibody treatment. Although you still gonna need the vaccine, but they did the funding so that they can do the studies to get this science in order for us to advance. So that's what that is right there. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into this Spikevax approval. We're gonna get into deaths from a preventable disease. We're gonna get into a couple of more pieces of scientific evidence that we're gonna build on, man, that I got lined up and in the chamber so that we can make things happen. But yeah, Richard, man, it don't even matter how many of them people black, bro. You know what I mean? Black and brown people make up in the United States, they make up a good portion of the size of deaths, but there's also a lot of white people too. Not just because they're outnumbered, because a lot of the white people that are actually dying from it are people that are in low income residential areas and low educational areas. They believed in Donald Trump in the earlier onset of the pandemic, and now a lot of them are paying the price. And a lot of them are having to succumb to long COVID, and their symptoms are persistent. So it is what it is with that. But let me see on the chat, man. What up, Teddy? What's good? Omar, what's good? Five, what's good, bro? EIE, what's good? Who done mess with that, man? I don't know. What up, Keenan? Working out. But that's what's going on right now, and I don't think people really up on it. Five, hold up. I just read your comment, Five, that you left on that. So I'm a disagree with you, and I'm not the only person to disagree with you. Scholars disagree with you, and people need to respectfully do this. Like, if you don't know something about something, sometimes it's best to just sit back and just learn. Like, talking about a subject that you're not prepared to actually discuss is intellectually lazy on your part. Now, I say that because if you're just discussing something to just be talking about it, and you doing a show about it, you're not helping build on that body of knowledge. When the foundation or the fundamental premise of your of the purpose of you going live is to actually, and people tuning in, is to educate them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people go live and they're talking about things, people are looking to get clarity and edification in that. And a lot of times you don't get clarity and edification in a conversation that you don't have no command of. So instead of properly being prepared to actually deal with a topic, you just want to on the fly kick some shit. You might as well talk sports and entertainment. You know what I mean? You might as well talk about that. You might as well talk about the dramatization of social media and all the other things that's going on. But when it comes to like history, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to immunology, virology, when it comes to genetics, right? When it comes to all these different levels of science, when it comes to art, even, You gotta know what the hell you talking about before you just do it. You can't just, as an example, all right, like you can't just walk in the gallery and go live. Well, you can walk in the gallery and go live. You just showing some shit out, but you just can't start a show and then yeah, let's discuss these masks. Like, do you even know the significance of the mask? Why are we even dealing with masks? Like, these are questions mentally. These are questions that you're supposed to have in mind. Like, what people don't know is that once upon a time, before people hit the live button, they actually never mind. Never mind. I ain't even gonna talk about it. I just know what I know. You don't hit the button and talk about shit you're unprepared to talk about. Now, now I agree. I ain't telling people what to do or say or anything like that, right? But if you're having a conversation about something, right? Just a conversation. If you're having a conversation about something, it can be a conversation, and then you're trying to speak from an authority on the subject matter that you don't have no command of. Or you can't say what's bullshit and what's not bullshit if you don't have a command of the subject matter. If you don't know what's going on in a conversation. In a conversation, two people shouldn't be arguing about something one person ain't studied about. It should never be an argument. The one person should be able to ask that question, digress, gain some understanding from that particular person, instead of rebuttaling and arguing because they feel a certain way about a subject matter, and then address it. But you know what happens is people don't really properly address these things. They progress a conversation into a discussion that leads to future arguments, and people still ain't studying. Like, why are you studying a subject matter on the fly? There's consequences in that. You know what I'm saying? There's consequences in that. Amber Alert. That's why I say I disagree, because it would take us down a road and a path that would lead us nowhere. Like it takes away from the learning experience. So as an example, like it ain't that many people in here, right? It ain't never gonna be that many people in here. But if I'm edifying 10 to 20 people on a subject matter that I ain't studied, I'm wrong for that. Because if they get a hold of information that contradicts what I say, and they come back and they checking me about that information, if they took the time out to actually do that, then I'm looking silly. Like, shoot, I don't even need to go over there. Right? You trying to middleman the information to me. You feel me? Like, you trying to, you really, you don't know nothing about it. So you want me to learn as you learn, but I might not learn at the pace you learn at. So really, at the end of the day, I might not be learning from that experience. I'm just, that's just to my brother Fi. You know what I'm saying? But I respect what he's saying, and I get what he's saying. But when you're talking about scholarship and you're dealing with people, our job is to edify them and advance the subject matter so that we can get to an honest conclusion based on real information, not emotions and feelings, not continuous back and forth on a subject matter, not unlearn versus learn. It can't be that way, because people gonna think the person that has been studying the subject matter the longest is being arrogant, cocky, and stupid. And then you gonna try to call them pseudo and name call and all this whole stuff because they talking down on you. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And then when you tell me what you're not going to do, like, I ain't got time to try to learn this subject matter, this, that, and the third. I'm just gonna do it. Nah, that ain't scientific either. I remember A buddy of mine used to like get some data, pull up some data or whatnot, be like, hey, this report came out today. I want everybody to go over it, pull some points out and things of that nature. Be prepared to discuss this on Friday. That was a cool thing to do. Why? Because it gave people time to prepare themselves to read that information, to gain an understanding of that information, and then if they had counter information, they can make that available on that Friday. So if the assignment was given to me on Monday, I knew on Friday that I needed to be prepared to discuss this subject matter, because when we hit the live button, I could edify everybody else based on what I've learned. And then what I've extracted elsewhere to either substantiate and support or disagree and disprove. It's just, but everybody ain't the same. So you know what I'm saying? I understand that because everybody ain't the same. So people gonna rock how they rock. I'm not telling people how to rock. I'm just saying, like, certain people tune in not only for the entertainment aspect of things, but to actually be properly edified and to get an understanding and to learn. And so unjustly, you're looked at as teachers. Unjustly. Now, you may feel like that's wrong of them to look at you that way, but you're the one who hitting the live button. And you discussing whatever you discussing. So people, like, if you got a problem with something, or you're talking about a topic that somebody else discussed and you're bringing it on your platform to speak your piece on it, you can't work your issues out on a live stream because you're handicapped. You're handicapped. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's just me. That's where I'm coming from. So I read all the comments on the video, and I don't want nobody to think that I wasn't paying attention to none. I read all the comments. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't telling people where to go and what to do either, because people are grown people. I don't never like to be in a position of where I have to choose sides. So I don't make people choose sides. I'll tell you, if I ain't fucking with something, I ain't fucking with it. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. So I want to make myself clear on that. I don't tell people not to go somewhere. You can go there if you want to. I ain't tuning in. And I haven't been tuning in. When people send me shit, then I'll go and I'll grab what they send me so I can have context in why my name is mentioned or what's being said and pointed in my direction, and you try to act like something. You feel me? So to clear up something else, I don't have their numbers. I only got Unc number. I never saved Corey number. I had Corey number, but I never saved it. But I had it. Real spill. Never had Chef number. I don't think I ever had Kent's. I ain't never really had none of their numbers. I only had Unc's. And that's because somebody asked me that. So I'm saying that because somebody asked me that. I don't mean to bring that energy to this right here because we talking COVID update and stuff like that. But I'm just, you know what I mean? I saw my brother comment live and I was just answering the comment live. So therefore I detoured. But the truth of the matter is this. I didn't leave the show because Sheffrin asked me a question about a star system. That ain't why I left. I left the show because he just found out what the actual claim was, and he wanted to have a conversation with something that he just found out. So he went and Googled, like we all know, because he didn't know. And this is what I meant. This is why I left. Because the moment that I said, they said that they had an understanding for us about a star system, they meaning the Dogon specifically, because they could see Sirius A. They didn't actually know that it was named Sirius A or anything at that time, right? But they said they saw Sirius A, and to them in their teachings, they correlate everything to being duplicates. In their teachings, one man, one woman. In nature, they see a female and a male. They see a counterpart. They see duality in everything that they teach and everything that they know in their culture. So if they looking up at the stars and they're looking at a star system and they can see this brightest star, then they know that that brightest star has to have another based on duality. This ain't me making the claim, ladies and gentlemen. So Corey, when you said that I said something and you knew where Sheffrin was going, you're a fucking liar. Damn, I ain't want to talk about it no more. But since the can is open, you're a liar. Here's how you're a liar. Because nobody before I said star system said that it was a star system. So the claim is that the Dogon said that they had an understanding of a star system. Not Sean said that they had an understanding of a star system. You see where your error is. This is how I know that y'all don't know how to do this shit for real. Because Sean never made a claim. But you said Sheffrin said, I cleared it up. I made it clear. No. I tried to get y'all from the jump to understand the claim, to go look at the claim, because I ain't never cared nothing about this whole Dogon thing. They brought this into the discussion and into the fold. I was still in the Congo. They went to the Dogon to try to just dismiss the Dogon. But if you're going to try to dismiss the Dogon, you actually got to understand what it is that the Dogon is actually claiming, and that never took place. From my understanding, that never took place. From what I was told, it never took place. And the reason that I say that is because I know how Unc asks questions. Oh, Jen, you just came in here and you said it. So I'm going to say it again, because if you just popped in here, I don't have their numbers. I don't have none of their numbers. The only person number I have is Unc, and I ain't talking to Unc. Because I know for a fact he wasn't calling me about no damn books for a bookstore. Because anytime Unc needed books, any books that I wrote, or any books Kofi wrote, or the team wrote, Unc called Kofi directly so that he could get them books. And it ain't no problem, because he did it before. So I know he wasn't calling me about no books. He was trying to get me involved in the whole conversation about Credo Mutua, and I ain't want to get into that because I ain't had nothing to do with that. So I ain't got to call nobody. So if you're asking why I don't get on the phone, ask Unc why he didn't call me, right? You got to keep that same energy. So ask Unc why he didn't call me when he said that he was going to watch my video about the Congo and the Congo teachings and their understanding of mapping the universe. So why he didn't call me after he watched that? He went live on the Pseudo Killers. Now I got a message and a phone call that says that he was going to check out the show and holler at me after he did that. He didn't holler at me. He went live on the Pseudo Killers. And then that's where the confusion started. Because he then began to insinuate other things that was never claimed. So the confusion started. So I don't want to hear none of that. Call for some understanding. We already talked. Listen, we didn't already had conversations about this in private, and y'all didn't even know it. Well, we got some straightening on this shit, and by the time we hung up, we thinking that we got some straightening on this shit. Then it started back up. But that's neither here nor there, and y'all don't understand that some things have been talked about, and y'all just don't know it with one person in particular, but y'all just don't know it. So, you know, keep the shit going if you want to. But my point is this, right? The actual claim of the Dogon has never been properly assessed. So if the claim is they knew of a star system, that's what you deal with. You don't try to say, okay, Sean, this is what a star system is after you Google something. First of all, I already knew that because I already had to look that information up. So you're just now privy to that information. So now you want to have a conversation with me about something that you're unprepared to have a conversation with me about because you didn't know of a star system. So you can't do that on a live stream. What you should do is be like, all right, cool. So hold on, let me make sure I got this right. You're saying that the Dogon had an understanding of a star system. That's what the Dogon claimed. You gotta say it just like that. So you're saying that the Dogon had a claim of a star system. That's what they claim, right, Sean? Yes, that is what the Dogon claim, because that is what I'm going to say. But the minute you try to make it seem like I'm saying it and not them, I ain't got to have no conversation with you because you have now put the claim on me. The burden of proof ain't on me. The proof is on you because you're trying to dispel what the Dogon teachings are. And you never understood their claim. So no matter what a SAR says, no matter what the Pale Fox says, what Grill says, no matter what Van Bosch says, no matter what none of them say, the source of the claim has to be dealt with. And if you're going to deal with the source of the claim, you got to go into the Dogon teachings and deal with who said this to whoever they said it to, and then you get to that point. That has never been done because they said they ain't got to read. I already had the COVID conversation. I was answering the question that was posed to me in a comment by my brother Fi. And then I was showing him as an example, and I'm still showing him as an example why you can't go live and try to hash shit out because it draws confusion, i.e. the whole situation with the Congo and the Big Bang. Unc said that he would call me on the phone after he reviewed that. I'm going to call you and tell you where you messed up at. He was adamant. That was his bias off the bat. So I'm going to tell you where you messed up at. And I'm like, what? I said, you ain't even checked the video out. I got the conversation. So I ain't got to lie about nothing. You never checked it out. So how you going to tell me what they teach or not teach? He said, yeah, you right. I'm going to check it out and I'm going to get back to you. When he checked it out, he didn't get back to me. He checked it out and went live. He could have asked me any question that he wanted to ask or have a discussion with me, like y'all said on the phone. And he could have been like, yo, so what made you do it like this? And then I would have told him. And then he would have been like, all right, so what I would have did, or okay, I see what you doing, or he could have did that. That was never done. What was done was what they always do. Try to go live and have a discussion about some shit that they ain't read. And that's just a fact. And another thing, we told them stop promoting our stuff. But that's neither here nor there. So they act like they promote our stuff. They don't. That's cap. See, I ain't say nothing in the video that I did. I let the video do all of the, you know what I'm saying? Do all of the talking. I never said nothing. I never came behind the video and actually said nothing. But there's a lot that actually could be said, but I ain't even want to speak on that. So I kind of spoke a little bit on it, and that's only because I was actually addressing Fi's question, and then I was breaking that down, and I went on a little tangent a little bit. But hopefully in the tangent that I went on, I was actually providing clarity to show people why you just can't hit the live button and how to actually identify a claim. See, it's a teaching moment in everything that we actually do. If we slow it down and we pay attention to what's going on, we actually can see, all right, now I know why y'all are like saying, get studied on the subject matter first and then handle your business. Because Googling real time won't help you gain a proper understanding of that which you're trying to get clarity on. It's not. That's why certain conversations keep getting extended for weeks and months out. And it's sad to say it, but it's the truth. And then y'all like, why y'all ain't on the phone? Like, go ask him. But anyway, like I said, man, we got some information that we're gonna kick later on Friday. We're gonna get into the BLA of Moderna's vaccine being fully authorized and its new name. We're gonna get into the death rate continues to climb, and we have a vaccine that prevents death. We're gonna get into the doctor's perspectives and a presentation by an actual doctor who did some work that was funded by Bill and Melinda Gates. And without that funding for that work wouldn't have never been done. And therefore, we wouldn't know what works and what wouldn't work for treatment in the hospital. We're going to get into a variety of other things. I actually have a checklist of sources and stuff like that I'm actually going to continue to do. If you haven't checked out the promo of The Coming of Islam in the Land of the Blacks. That book has been done since October. To tell you the truth, that book was done when the COVID book was done. Both books was done at the same time. I just sat on The Coming of Islam in the Land of the Blacks because we had volume 4 coming. Chavis was working on a book. Sutek was working on a book. And I was kind of holding those things off to let the brothers get their work in, or if they were going to put out some work, I was trying to get all of that off. The comprehension book, the coloring book, I was trying to let those books go because I don't think that it would have been right by me to just keep coming with books and our brothers are trying to do something. So I wanted to get out of the way of that and let them do that. Brother Lavelle, they'll never write. Remember, they told you they ain't gonna do no reading. So the expectation is that, like, and I don't care how bad people want to try to make it sound or anything like that, man. But there's a reason why you should read. All you need is about 30 minutes a day. Just read 30 minutes a day or an hour. If you could pull an hour off, read an hour a day. You'll get through what you want to get through. Whatever your favorite subjects are, topics are, just read on that. Build and teach on that. Because that'll help us get clarity on what you do know. And then we can build on that body of knowledge. Like, there was a foundation set, then the foundation just seemed to crumble. But my thing is that my Islam book, it could come out at it could have came out at any time. It been done. But I'll let y'all know when the pre-orders will be available, when the book will be available for pre-order and stuff like that. When a release date may be. I may wait till March the 13th because that's my brother's birthday to really release that book. I don't know. But it's coming. I don't know if anybody gonna buy it or not, but that's fine. It'll be available though. It'll live on. But back to the COVID stuff, like, I talked about herbs can't you can't detox your body. You can't detox a vaccine out of your body. I still think that's the most hilarious stuff that I've heard. For real. There's a video floating around social media that people are uploading that are talking about people who received the vaccine because of a mandate. Here's how you detox the vaccine out of your system. Are you freaking serious? So once you get the vaccine, your body is now being trained to defend itself against a foreign pathogen. You want herbs to tell your body how to unlearn that training and then go from there. So now you got herbs that can think and outsmart, and then your immune system has a brain. Hey, do y'all remember the book that I showed everybody? It's called is that my no, that ain't my auntie. Uh y'all remember the book that I showed everybody called Scientific Integrity? That book is all about promoting not only methodology, sound methodology, and showing you how to properly critique, but it also is all about case studies and how to actually have discussions and advance science, the knowledge of that discussion. So what we're talking about in Fi's question to me earlier, there's already a book out regarding that. Yeah, Ali, I understand what you're saying, bro. I understand what you're saying. Appreciate that, Zane. Yeah, this channel did come in around May. Dang. But you know, I just think it's important, right? That we be the example that we wanna see in the world. And if we want to control the narrative per se, not necessarily control the narrative, but if we're trying to rid people of pseudoisms, then we there's an approach that we have to take in order to make that possible. And that requires us to know and to be scientific in our endeavors. That doesn't necessarily mean just only show people the source, because if all we're going to do is just show people who the experts are, then we're not showing what we actually learned from the experts. So they really didn't teach us nothing. We learning this as you're learning this. Now, the question is, how do you qualify that expert as a sound teacher to know if their information is right and exact? Because they seem to be in the field and they got initials by their names? Or because they support a bias? So those are the things that come into question. And this is why it's very important for us in our endeavors to be sound in scholarship. Like we don't benefit, there's no benefits in being lazy. So when we're talking COVID, vaccines and pseudoisms, claims like herbs, right? Like herbs, literally herbs, the taking of herbs can detox a vaccine out of the body. That don't even sound scientifically accurate. But if we didn't know any better, we would take that at face value, which there's thousands of people that are taking that at face value and trying to buy herbs that are actually going to get rid of the vaccine out of your body. So we have to have a proper understanding of what we're dealing with on the grounds of being able to advance scholarship to a level where people could actually develop. Our goal should always should be the development of the African American and the African and the other diaspora Africans' mental makeup. We're fighting colonialism, slavery, indoctrination from all aspects. We've succumbed to so much. So we should be fighting for the hearts and minds of the people. And by properly educating and edifying them should be that liberation tool that will help them advance into the future. And the vaccine, listen, see, this is what SARS-CoV-2 taught me. I hate to say it, but this is what SARS-CoV-2 taught me. Writing that book, putting that book together, showed me the importance of what it was that I was doing and why I was doing what I was doing. It validated the reason why I just ain't shut this channel down and left the Mossy and left Kofi Pi-Psi research team and just said to hell with everything. Because putting that book together showed me why it needed to be done, why I had to continue to learn, why we needed to develop in a sense so that we can gain proper understanding, why we should pay attention to certain said experts and teachers and learn from them, and then be able to formulate that in a way that we can convey it to our people. Why? You're not supposed to have any biases when doing research, but you have to, if you have a bias, then you need to, if you're doing biased research, then you have to go and do unbiased research. Your unbiased research would either qualify your biased research or put you in opposition with your biased research. So look, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. You know, if you want to like the show, you can like the show. If not, it's cool. You know what I mean? If people want to critique whatever I said, you can critique it too, but it is what it is. I'm about to get my hair cut. My barber is here. And it's raining. Y'all enjoy y'all day, man.